Good evening everyone, this is Toe with Pulsar coming at you with another video. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the peers in your Pulsar wallet. So let's dive in. Step number one is that I'm showing you my Pulsar configuration file. You can see that I do not have any instances of add node equal in my configuration file because they are already hard-coded in the Pulsar wallet itself. And you can see that for yourself if you go to Pulsar's GitHub and you look at the wallet source code, and we are looking at a file called chainparams.cpp, and we scroll down in this particular file, we can see that the seeds are defined or hard-coded in the wallet itself as seed1.pulsarcoin.org all the way to seed6.pulsarcoin.org, as well as the numerical IP address of a particular seed. So all these are already hard-coded. So for that reason, I don't need to be redundant and specify the add node equal, seed1.pulsarcoin.org in the configuration file. It's already done for me. So each one of these particular names, seed names, carry an associated IP address. So if we were to look and see what it means, so seed1.pulsarcoin.org, it is not associated with a numerical IP address, at least not at this time. As more seeds come online, the developer will make the association on the DNS to associate the name with a particular number. Now, however, if we go to seed02, we can see that it is indeed associated with a numerical address. And the same thing can be said for seed3. That's a 154 address. Seed4, that's a 172 address. Seed5, it's an 85 address. And seed6, it's not associated with a particular numerical address. Okay, so that being said, I will show you my peers who I'm connected to right now. We see a lot of internal IP addresses, and as is my way, I am running a lot of experiments on the wallet, and I have a unique setup to where I have numerous machines here in my home network. In each one of those machines, it's running its own unique instance of the Pulsar wallet. So most people aren't going to have the kind of setup I do, at least not now. But we can see that we have a 172.13 address here, 5995. We have that 154 address here, 5995, and we have a 95 address here, once again with port 5995. So one of the common things that I want to point out right off the bat is this port 5995 that is open and shared by other people on the Pulsar network. By doing so, it allows me, my wallet here at my house, to connect to them over there. So in order for the door to be open so that I can connect to them over there, those other people have to actually open up that port 5995 on their side, and by doing so, my wallet is able to connect to them. And by connecting to them, whoever they are in turn connected to, their peer list is also shared across the network, and that will trickle into what I see here, like over time. All right, fine and dandy. So my step one, my top recommendation is going to be that if you want to support the Pulsar network, that you would port forward your port 5995 from your particular router, your particular hardware. However you do that, you would forward it to the IP address, internal IP address that's running your wallet on your own internal network. And to that end, I'm going to recommend also that you use a static IP address for the machine that is running your Pulsar wallet on your internal network. Because, sometimes your router will assign a different IP address upon a reboot, or your computer will restart and it'll pull a different IP address, internal IP address, and it'll change. Well, if you have it where 5995 already has an association That's good as long as the numbers don't change around. But if it changes around on a reboot or whatever, then your 5995 port forwarding is going to be forwarding to the void, who knows what. So do use a static IP address on your internal network for the machine that is running your Pulsar wallet. That's always going to be my step one. Step number two is going to go into your Pulsar configuration file, and here we're going to edit the max connections. Now usually whenever you load it up from scratch, you're going to have a default value of 48, which is fine, which is good for most people. And you can change that, you can increase that, and just understand but that by doing so, it's going to require more resources. Like, you're not just going to be talking to a potential 48 wallets, you're going to be talking to a potential, let's say, 100 other wallets. And so by doing that, it's going to require more resources on your computer to chatter with more wallets. So increase your max connections if you feel that your hardware can handle it. So once you do that, let's say that your hardware can handle it, you would change it to, let's say, 100 or 150 or whatever you think, right? You decide. And after you change it, well, your wallet's still running, and so you would need to restart your wallet and reload your wallet for the changes to your configuration file to take effect. So just keep that in mind. It's not just change the text file and everything just gets implemented right then and there. No, you actually have to restart your wallet for the changes in your configuration file to take effect. So what you see here is that 100. I did that earlier, and I restarted my wallet. I went up from 48 to 100, and by doing so, in my particular case, I went from 3 connections to other wallets to everything that you see here. So if you're not seeing a lot of peers appear in your peer list, then one thing that you could do is increasing your max connections. Okay, so looking at the IP address associated with C2, we see on this nslookup.io website that it is associated with a 95.154.244.51. So does that appear? Here it is, 95.154.244.51. Okay, and that, of course, remember, that's happening without it being specified in the configuration file, because it, like I showed you, it is hard-coded in the wallet. So now we can change it to, let's see, C3. So that's 154.5. Do I have that in here? Yes, it's right there. And let's see, number 4. Okay, that's 172. It ends in 81. No, I have 172 that ends in 89. Okay, that's fine. The wallet will pull the peers that it finds and that it likes. So now, do we have this 85 to 15? No, we don't. At least not yet. Okay. So another resource open to you is that you can go to the Pulsar Coin Explorer at explorer.pulsarcoin.info. If we go to here, we can see along the left-hand side, there's a network tab. Once we click that tab, exposed to us is a list of outbound connections. So if we want to, it's entirely possible to add these outbound connections to our peer list. To do so, we would go to console, and you can kind of see that I was already up to it. I was already doing that. But this is what it looks like, so we're going to do a manual add in the console. So if we do simply help add node, see what it says. The command in the console is add node with the node number in quotation marks with the flag of add remove one try. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this complete with the port number, and I'm going to do add node quotation marks, put that IP address in there, and do one try. Okay, and now I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go down the list, and I'm going to do the whole thing. One try, So there's that 95. So here's the 88. So add node. So by doing this, I'm instructing the wallet and telling it directly, hey, I want you to try to initiate a connection with these wallets that have their 5995 port open. So once again, this is why I keep harping on, and I'm asking you to open your particular port 5995 to your wallet so that others are able to connect their wallets to yours and help build a stronger, more robust Pulsar network of connected wallets. Let me try. Okay, so now we go to peers. We can see that I guess my wallet's still thinking about it, still thinking about connecting to these one tries that I did, and that's fine. It knows it's there, and it'll eventually rotate and connect to, but maybe my wallet already thinks, hey, I already have enough connections, I don't need to connect anymore. And, that's entirely a possibility as well. So I'm just letting you know that it's an option. If you feel that you do not have enough peers, that you are not connected to enough peers, you can do a manual add of the add node one try, and you can use this peer list from the Explorer to give you the IP addresses that you would use for that. Now when I say one try, that's like the wallet trying to initiate the connection, but I could do like add node and then add. So I did the 85, 239, 241, 220. So let's see if I have an 85 that pops up. So no. So it could be that particular wallet's down, and it'll try to connect to it later on. Some people, they reboot their machines or they forget to load their wallet, and maybe this peer list that's on the Explorer isn't quite up to date. So, but the case is clear. You can certainly use what's in the Explorer to help guide you into finding more peers, but it's better to let your wallet discover those peers on their own, and it'll cycle them in, it'll cycle them out like over time. And so, for that reason, that's why I say it's important that you contribute to the Pulsar network by doing your port forwarding of 5995 to your Pulsar wallet install, so it'll give others an opportunity to connect to you. So a buddy of mine and I, we do our own wallet experiments from time to time, and we gathered up a list of IP addresses that we obtained from our own wallet peer lists and compiled them, and we came up with a list of IP addresses that our Pulsar wallets have connected to, or that have connected to us like over time. And I took that IP address list and I put it into this website called ipinfo.io. And what it did is it plotted, geolocated the IP addresses and put them on a map. So it gives it like a visual representation of the IP addresses that are running the Pulsar wallet across the world. And so I thought it was rather cool and interesting to see all these different people that are running Pulsar wallet. So by helping out the Pulsar network by opening your port 5995, you're actually contributing to the network health. You're giving other people the ability to connect to you, and you supply them with updated blockchain information that brings their wallet transactions up to date. So in conclusion, I just wanted to let you know that there are ways that you can work on your peer list, and some way it's not for everybody, and for most, as long as you're connected to one good peer, like one of the seeds, you're fine. That's all technically that's needed. But for those of you who have the resources and the know-how to forward your ports and help out the network, I highly encourage you to do so. And if you have any other questions, or if you have anything that you've come across, or any procedure that you do that you've learned in the wallet, I'm all ears. I'm in the Discord, and I'll be there to answer questions and hear what you guys have to say. And thank you. Good night.